What's up, all my soul G's? Welcome to another episode of CGT podcast. This is episode 22. Technically, it's supposed to be episode 21, part 2, but I like the way 22 rolls off my tongue. So I'm just gonna say this is episode 22. You feel me? And it might have been a blessing in disguise that the last video fucked up. Even though all 4 topics that I was gonna cover in that video, in this video, even though all 4 of those topics go hand in hand and are relevant to each other, I do feel like what we're talking about today is going to have a more significant impact if people realize, or if we have this conversation together, independent of the serious strikes and all that shit. Because, like I said in the last video, right now, they're preparing people for war. So, they already been at war for the last 20, 30, 40 years in the Middle East. That's international war, global war. Not global war, more so international proxy wars and shit like that. And with that being said, domestically, a lot of people get caught up in the shit internationally. Domestically, when we're at home in America, we could be so focused on domestic shit that we don't even understand what's going on internationally. So that's why I try to piece them together. Anyway, I'm not gonna hold us on too much longer. Where my light at? Got my cat in my lap. Got the tap in my jaw. And we started. So let me start off by playing this video for y'all to warm it up for you. We already done talked a little bit. Y'all got a warm up going. All right. I'm going to wait for this to load up for y'all. And there I go. All right. We're going to start this from the beginning right here. My boy Kyle Kalinske at Secular Talk.
malcomx. Almost 56 years since the day Malcolm X was assassinated in New York City, lawyers and family members of the late civil rights and black nationalist leader released new evidence they claim shows the NYPD and FBI conspired in his murder. It comes in the form of a deathbed letter attributed to a former undercover NYPD officer who claimed he was pressured by supervisors to lure 2 of Malcolm X's security men into committing crimes a few days before the assassination on February 21st, 1965. The arrests kept the 2 men from managing door security at the Audubon Ballroom in Washington Heights on the day of the shooting, according to the letter. The letter, written by Raymond Wood, was authorized for posthumous release by a cousin. It was read on Saturday at a press conference attended by 3 of X's daughters and members of Wood's family. No details about the circumstances and timing of Wood's death were provided. Quote, under the direction of my handlers, the letter states, I was told to encourage leaders and members of the civil rights groups to commit felonious acts.
So I know Kyle's more so on the, Democratic news talk type shit. So he's going to skip over shit like that. Now, when I hear handler, I automatically hear MK Ultra or some type of mind programming. So with that being said, we have to think about shit like this. If we think there's videos going around the internet and shit saying that celebrities are the only people getting MK Ultra done away. No, nigga. No, it's not always just celebrities. It could be an average everyday police officer. It could be an average everyday FBI agent who might have something good at heart, but he's been subverted. And the personalities that carry those subversions can be hidden from your conscious mind. They can be. So with that being said, like this guy, before he died, he's admitting this shit, and he's saying his handler made him do it. That's proof of what I just said. It's not all about the fucking celebrities with this MK Ultra and mind control, brainwashing shit. It's not about celebrities. It's not all about celebrities. It's not all about just black people or quote unquote minorities. No, it's about power, control. It's about you being seen as I'm not even gonna say it's about you being seen as the goyim. You get what I'm saying? It's about you being seen as not a part of. So I'm gonna continue.
Behind every great video is a winning script.
Bullshit. Had to mute that hoe.
Number of attempts on his life.
Oh, fuck.
And the dominant theory was...
I gotta go back. Hold on. See, this shit glitching. I tried to jug the advertisement. They gonna reverse jug me. God damn.
Using his position of power and authority to fornicate, for lack of a better word, with so many of the women that were around him, and this was directly against his own teachings. And Malcolm X
he's talking about the Elijah Muhammad shit,
and he couldn't reconcile it, and so that eventually led to, a split between Malcolm, who was basically Elijah Muhammad's number 2 in command, led to a split between him and Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. And so what happened was there's a lot of people who are really, really loyal to Elijah Muhammad. What he would do is take young black men who perhaps never had a fair shot in life and were institutionalized and had been through the system, and he helps rehabilitate them. And he helped teach them personal responsibility and, how to be a man, how to be a leader, how to have your own family, how to provide, how to build a community, how to create a future that's brighter than what they have currently. And so a lot of people were fiercely and viciously loyal to Elijah Muhammad, including Malcolm, until, he realized that these dude's kind of a fraud. So there was an ugly breakup.
Come on, Kyle. Fuck going on, Cal? Talk about the FBI shit, nigga.
There were a number of attempts on his life.
Okay, there we go.
And the dominant theory was, yes, it was basically henchmen from Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam that went after Malcolm. And that, honestly, again, if you know the history of it, if you've read his biography, that is not far-fetched. In fact, it's the likely scenario that even if you say the FBI and the NYPD played a role in this, there's almost no doubt that also the Nation of Islam played a role in it, because it got really, really ugly between them. And then you got to understand that there's pre-Mecca Malcolm X and there's post-Mecca Malcolm X. Before he went to Mecca, he was a hardcore black nationalist. And, that's what the Nation of Islam taught, and that's what Elijah Muhammad taught. And then post-Mecca, he really became not fully like Martin Luther King and his philosophy, but a lot more like Martin Luther King and his philosophy. Where Malcolm X still believed in self-defense, whereas, an egalitarian approach, people can come together, people can love each other.
All right, too many advertisements. He not really on topic. But the part of the video I wanted you to see was him breaking the news, saying basically this right here. Let me show you. Malcolm X assassinated letter shows NYPD FBI assassination involvement. Now, they already released the shit on Martin Luther King a while ago, admitting to assassinating Martin Luther King. And the people who were around at that time, they were already 100% sure of who assassinated these people. And like Kyle was saying, break it down, a lot of people still to this day think it's the Nation of Islam. But after we seen with the Fred Hampton thing, which I'm about to go to next, it's not always as easy to say that just because somebody was saying they're part of an organization, they might have been doing that for specific reasons in the first place. And with that being said, everybody joined the organization for a reason, but the reason why these motherfuckers join it is because they're a part of the FBI, or they're getting paid off by the FBI, or they're getting bullied by the FBI. They're being used by these fucking investigation agencies and shit. Intelligence agencies. Malcolm X's family releases this stuff, like Brett said. But the crazy part is, after Malcolm X was assassinated, after MLK and Malcolm X was assassinated, you know, let me pull up this video. After Malcolm X and MLK was assassinated, that's what kind of sparked or led to the Black Panther movement, because you know people felt like they're assassinating our leaders and shit, and that's not cool. They're not only assassinating our leaders, they're assassinating other people's leaders. They're assassinating anybody who's a threat to their fucking power scheme. So we're gonna put together our own shit to protect ourselves because they're not really doing it, and they're actually attacking the people who are trying to help them or better the way that it's been done. Now I wanted to show this right here. It was something I had seen one time. Oh yeah, here it go right here.
All we say to America is be true to what you're saying on paper. Somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. I know about Fred. I don't think he ever would tell lies.
That's it.
He wouldn't claim easy victories. There's another expression they use today in Angola and Mozambique. They used to say, "A luta continua, a victoria incerta." That meant the struggle continues, victory is certain.
So, I mean, oh wait, I'm gonna play this part too.
A long life, longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will.
So I'm just showing that to show a lot of the mind states, and even in the movie that they recently released about Fred Hampton called Judas and the Messiah. Judas and the Messiah is basically, you know, breaking down how these agents how FBI agents use other people to keep their hands clean, and they use people on the streets to keep their hands clean, indirectly making them criminals, because if anybody else who did that wasn't a fucking officer, quote unquote officer or policeman or agent, that would be known as accomplice in a crime or some shit like that. So let's go to Fred, because the FBI, you know, you go on this shit, you go to Google and you Google this shit, you'll see all this fucking shit right here. But what you need to go to is this, the FBI vault shit. Okay, you're going to the FBI vault shit and you're gonna go see how many files they got on this man. This man was born in 1925. He died. I mean, they killed him and assassinated him in 1965. That should have never happened, for one. But I'm not gonna go down here. I just like sharing information. You have to go through all these, bro. It's your access and your power to, in the way they want you to. That's what they want right now. But it's up to you what you do with the information. All I gotta say is it's there. But why are they keeping so many files on people? Even before the internet, they were keeping files on people who they consider threats even before the internet. So the more threats they are is the reason why they have the fucking internet. But with that being said, they don't have just one pages with 32 items. They got 2 pages about this man. all type of shit in there. They got jail. I mean, shit. He was like, shit. He was trying to send out when they had arrested him. They got all type of man. I can't even, bro. Y'all got to go through that shit. With that being said, I'm gonna X that one out. And I'm gonna go to the Fred Hampton one because I want to show y'all. I want to show y'all something. All the things. Freedom of Information and Privacy Act. What they say on page 5. Into death of Hampton presently underway. Report will be considered by Black community as official quote unquote report. R.E. Hampton's death. 5 Black tribunal to be convened for purpose of trying Negro judges, policemen, and politicians who presently cooperate with power structure. 6 A Black Watch will be organized to watch, scrutinize, and observe all policemen while in Black community. 7. A Black Foundation and remembrance of Martin Luther King and Fred Hampton will be established. 8. Selection of political representatives in Black communities will no longer be permitted. By political party. In future, Black community will select potential candidates. For all whites in Black community, no whites will be permitted to enter Black community during above hours. Chicago PD source advised Instant Police Superintendent James B. Kalinsky. So I'm just saying this, bro. If the man was young as fuck, let's get this straight. So this man, okay, Juice WRLD, for example. Juice WRLD released a song. And in the song, he was like, I think it's called Legends or something like that. And in the song, he said some fire shit. He was like, that basically niggas talking about they die at 27. That's the thing in the conscious community or the conspiracy theory community more so. That, you know, a lot of famous people don't live past the age 27. They get sacrificed or some shit like that. And it's just crazy because in the song, this nigga Juice WRLD said, fuck 27. People not even living at 21 no more. I mean, that's crazy because how are you having people who are 50, 40, 50, 60 years old in these agencies basically seeing 20-year-olds as threats when at the same age, when they were in their 20s, they were doing reckless shit, bro. Reckless as fuck shit. And this is not just about Black thing. This is what, that's why I wanted to talk about that shit. Let me pull up the picture. That's why I want to talk about this shit. They made this film. I mean, I'm pretty sure they've been working on this film for a while. They released it this year. They probably wanted to release it last year. I don't know what the fuck going on. But they released this film. They got the shit with Biggie. Tupac. All the films they make about Black people, they okay, but most of them are mediocre. And this one was actually different because most people, when they think about the Black Panthers, they only think about Huey Newton and you know, people like the feminine leaders of it. Like, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love all these people like Angela Davis and Ashada Shakur and what's her name? I don't want to disrespect her, but Mrs. Cleveland or something like that. And with that being said, like most people don't know about Fred Hampton because by that time they had already started, you know, having permission to fucking neutralize motherfuckers, and that's crazy. And with that being said, One of the ways that they were covering up the fact that they can neutralize people within, you know, that being accepted by the government and the judges now, but the public isn't really put into this. It's about to them, and they're basically they'll fuel social disagreements among people. And whichever one gets people the most riled up, they'll go with it. They'll go with it for a very long time. They'll have that one be the main thing on the mainstream media. And one of the most constant things is race, because that's one of the things that, you know, the history of this country is entailed with. It's like stitched with that shit. So with behind closed doors, not just white people are, you know, doing this to black people and shit like that. Because now we have information about Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and even Donald Trump and his family and the Bushes and all these people. But they're still putting them in front of our face. The Clintons, they're still putting them in front of our face. Even though these people were very well and alive when all of this shit right here was happening. What were they doing? Where were they at? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you why I say it's not just about black and white. Because it is. I talk about my boy all the time, too. It's about this. First of all, I'm going to go back to that. It's about this, my boy. I'm going to have to go in there. My bad. Give me a little second. Matter of fact, I might just cut this shit out for y'all's sake. Okay, here we go.
The worst thing that our enemies can ever create is a martyr. Any move to hurt me in any manner whatsoever that would not be a legitimate method or a legitimate outcome of some legitimate endeavor will be met with martyrdom. Tremendously dangerous and strong, active political movements always rise up around martyrs. While I don't really want to be a martyr, if that's what history chooses for me to be, then I will be that martyr. But our enemies are not stupid. They try to come at you in a way that will demonize you in the eyes of the American public, or the public of the world, so that whatever they do will seem to be legitimate. But my knowledge of the law has stymied them in that respect, because I've challenged them on every issue and they've defaulted. And so they're betting that some local sheriff's deputy or local police officer is going to arrest me case if they attempt that, I'll have to shoot them. Or they'll have to shoot me. That's what the federal government is counting on. And they can really demonize me by saying I murdered some police officer who was doing something he should never have been doing in the first place and was actually the one committing the crime against me. I know all of you are scratching your head because you've been taught so many lies all your life. You think this is absolute total bullshit. But it's the absolute, complete, and total truth.
Okay. So, man, this nigga predicted his own fucking death and the way it was gonna happen and shit like that. I was able to do it. He wasn't the only person. Not only Fred Hampton did, Martin Luther King did, and malcomx did. But the way he broke it down, you know, with the martyrdom shit, it brings to mind a certain fulfillment of having a full picture, because the emotion side of it would be like, man, that's fucked up. I'm mad as fuck. They just killed somebody who had a really great heart and seemed to have beautiful intentions. But on the you know, that was the first hand. On the other hand, you also have like, what does this mean to them? It's all about sending a message of how it's all about how they can paint a picture and control a narrative to the rest of the people who are not involved in this situation. Even the people who know damn well better. Even the people who don't trust the government, even the people who trust Bill Cooper, even the people who don't know Bill Cooper but don't trust the government. Either way you put it, you feel me? But if you just trust the government, even then, people still understand that it's impossible for you to just sit right there and hear this man step out step by step. Call out step by step how shit happens and then have that actually happen to him. So right here on the FBI website, it's not just about black people. They're assassinating anybody who out here goddamn exposing their goddamn secrets. And when I say they, it's just people who actually can afford to do this. People who are involved in the knowing of how to do this. Because you don't know how to do this shit. Why the fuck don't my aunties and uncles don't know how to do this shit? Why the fuck can't they get away with almost anything because they have somehow like the most advanced lawyers in the fucking world? How do they sit right here and assassinate people boldly and still try to turn the other fucking cheek and then say, oh yeah, we gotta be peaceful, we gotta be unified, we gotta love each other. This is not like our country type shit. That's disrespectful, bro. Like, would you even like? I know people who barely fuck with their family because they on some shit like that. But let me say this. People allow the Federal Bureau of Investigation to actually sit right here and call hits on nigga Edgar, Arizona, Bill Cooper. Let's see what type of juicy shit we can find in this one. I'm gonna go to the end of this shit, honestly. That's where all the crazy shit be at. But if you want to know how they stalking niggas, then yeah. They got a map out of his city. They got his old notes. How did they get that shit, my nigga? This shit is crazy, bro. Y'all gotta go through this shit, man. They got this shit in the newspaper and everything. Cooper family targeted by feds. It says William Cooper and Annie Cooper have been targeted for imprisonment or extermination by the federal government and the Anti-Defamation League for documenting and sourcing the truth about the tyranny and despotism of the Illuminati's coming socialist totalitarian New World Order. We have worked feverishly since 1988 documenting and sourcing the facts of treason being brought about by the Illuminati, socialist change agents in the government, and through the activities of secret societies and organizations such as the Subversive Anti-Defamation League. President Clinton ordered all the agencies of government begin an investigation naming us enemies of the administration and domestic quote unquote domestic terrorists. Since when is telling the truth terrorism in this country? Nigga, it's been fucking terrorism. But you feel me? It's a certain time for everybody to figure shit out. So-called income tax administrated by the government. You think this far-fetched? You may think this is far-fetched. I'm over here on the right side now. You think this is far-fetched. Be forewarned that these people are noted in the Internal Revenue Manual as subject to the tax. My research was confirmed when I found the following quote by Supreme Court Justice Fields. The power of the United States to tax is limited to persons, property, and business within their jurisdictions, as much as that of a state is limited to the same subjects within its jurisdiction. Tobacco and firearms of the Secret Service, nor or any of these bogus agencies listed in the United States Code as agencies of any other branch of government. These agencies are in fact fictions. And then I discovered the reason why. The United States Supreme Court in Bushburr versus Union Pacific Railroad Company had already ruled the federal income tax void because Congress had unconstitutionally delegated legislative power to the Secretary of Treasury to write the law concerning the administrative and enforcement procedures. It was a blatant and unconstitutional breach of separation of powers, and in any case of the Constitution does not grant Congress the ability to delegate its powers to anyone or anything or any entity. That is why there are so many lies. That is why there are so many lies. What's good? Back with it. Had an emergency call and shit. But yeah, this just, I mean, overall, once you go look through this stuff, you'll just see how disgusting it is and how hypocritical it is. Growing up as a child, one of the things I hated was hypocrisy. And they put Barack Obama in office, and politically it made, everybody not really understand what politics is in my generation. And I mean, now we understand completely. And with that being said, it's just about, are we going to allow the agents that are not publicly saying they're with the government to persuade the way that people are thinking? Are we going to allow that? Because that's the point we're at. Because with that being said, the people who out here telling the truth, I'm gonna be real, bro. Like, I'm not saying they always get assassinated, but if you're living on the land of the beast and you telling their secrets and shit, and you standing boldly against them, many different groups are going to see you as a threat. You get what I'm saying? It's not just the FBI and the CIA. These are just cover groups for other groups, really. So they got this man everything mapped out. This is before Google Maps. You get what I'm saying? Before Google Maps. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for sticking around and helping me close out this part 2 of this goddamn episode / 22 of it. If you get it, you get it. And you fine. But if you don't get it, you still fine, because you watched the video all the way through and you officially a soldier. I think, at least. With that being said, I'm gonna stop the screen share. Stop the share. Thank you for sticking around. This has been CGT Podcast episode. This has been episode 22 of CGT Podcast. This has been episode 22 of CGT Podcast. Peace.